So we have a problem in EMS. Nationally, we drop a lot more patients than we realize. These stretchers, manual stretchers, powered stretchers, and obviously consult your user's manual. But these stretchers are really designed to be two-stage lift cots. They have two positions, one being transport height, the other one being load height. So here's how we want to think about it. The heavier my patient, the more varied the terrain, the more varied the environment, the lower this stretcher has to go. Nobody got into this business to hurt somebody. And the last thing we want to do is drop a stretcher. But the higher the stretcher goes, the more unstable it becomes, the weaker it becomes, and as its center of gravity raises, the more likely it is to tip. Now at this point, we should all know never to move the stretcher sideways. But a lot of places are not teaching load height and transport height. So as I said, the heavier the patient, the lower this thing needs to go. As a matter of fact, there's a number of services whose bariatric protocols state that with a true bariatric patient, this stretcher needs to be on the ground, all wheels touching, only until you get to the back of the truck, which obviously makes the argument for lifting systems, ramps, and winches, because with a true bariatric, we shouldn't be doing the work. We need a device to do that. So the position the stretcher's in right now, roughly transport height. Again, if patient's heavier, I'm going to go a little lower. Just to show you guys the difference, when we get to the back of the truck, where we're going to simulate that we are now, is the only time we're going to go to load height. Ready, set, lift. And this is the only time the stretcher should ever be this high. Now there's one other little problem. We seem to be getting better with load height and transport height on scene. Where we're seeing a disproportionately high number of the drops now are at the receiving facility, because when we come out of the ambulance on that nice level ground at the hospital, what position is this stretcher automatically at? It's right here at load height. Folks, we've got to lower this thing down. Plus, when I go into the hospital and I need to move my patient over to the bed, as we showed you in previous video, the position you need to be in to safely move a patient bed to bed, the bed should be about hip level. So there's no reason for this thing to be this high anyway. But there's been a disproportionately high number of drops at receiving facilities because the stretcher is still too high.